I'm ready. I am so excited to play with this. And it came like a day and a half early or 2 days. Look, let's go ahead and get started. I have been waiting on this. The color story is just exquisite. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So it's me in the future. I got the shadows on my eyes. I am pleased as can be. So before I get carried away, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but please just call me Ash or Ashley. Now, we are talking about the beautiful Ensley Rain Cold Moon Palette. When I saw this color story, it just made my heart skip a beat. When I say, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just in love with it. This is gorgeous. This is something I want. So this actually released the 26th of December, and it actually retailed for $72.22. So unfortunately right now it is on pre-order. So if you want it and you feel like you can wait to the month of March to possibly get it, I would go for it. Spoiler alert, I would just go for it, okay? I love these tones in the shadow. I've been loving the performance as far as me just trying it out right here for this first impression. But like I said, that's the only problem. When sometimes, when they sell out units really quickly, it's going to take a moment for the restock. So like I said, I did purchase this on December 26th, retail for $72.22. Pretty expensive, but not as expensive as the Harvest Moon palette that I do really enjoy. That's what made me definitely go ahead and launch on this particular palette. There are several influencer codes. I use my friend's code, Beauty and the Frizz. So that saved money. So it brought it back down to the $60 range. But then by the time we added on shipping, I was kind of like right back there. But the shipping was relatively quick-ish. Today is the 7th of June. I actually got it 1 or 2 days prior to what I anticipated for. There's no mirror in this palette. The shades are magnetic. And I really appreciate the artwork, just like how the other format of the palette is with the Harvest Moon. I really like this one. The difference is the mattes are kind of like dispersed across the palette versus in the Harvest Moon, we had that one row of mattes and then the 2 rows of shimmers at the top. And as you can see, they were not playing any games when they sent this palette. So honey, this is the box that it came in. And I don't remember if it came like this for Harvest Moon, but when I opened it up, I said, oh, they're not playing. They said, look, you will not be breaking in transit here. And I mean, I don't blame them. I really don't. So it was just a box and it had like the wrapper here and the palette was nice and snug in here. So that worked out well. I'm just gonna throw that over there. There was also a little sticker on here to keep the palette closed. And the palette does come with a protective film and the matching unicarton. Okay, so on the back you can find the ingredients of the palette. The palette is cruelty free. It's good for 12 months. Once you open it, keep your makeup in a cool, dry area. It will be okay. Keep it cool, dry area will be okay. You won't have to worry about it going bad on you for the most part, especially these type of shadows. They'll usually be okay. But then do use your shadows. You don't want them to go bad on you. The palette is 100% vegan and the materials are recyclable. You can find this at EnsleyRain.com. It's distributed by Heartmark Company, Grants Pass, Oregon. So the palette net weight is actually 23.1 grams or 0.82 ounces per product. And like I said, this is a 21 color pressed pigment palette. So they have information here. Also, if you check out the website, it's a lot more detailed information about the palette. Like I said, unfortunately, this palette is on back order until March. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I do, but I do understand if you don't want to wait. I mean, it's only January 7th. It's like, they said they might get it to you before that, but it's a possibility, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, what do you want to do? But so as far as this is a 21 cool tone palette. That is their 21 cool tone masterpieces, as they call it. It says, elevating our previous Cold Moon palette, this version intensifies the magical allure with an expanded range of cool tones. So I did not know there was a previous Cold Moon palette. I'm gonna go back and look at that for a second. Let's see if we can find a picture of that. And it says it encompasses muted pinks, mauves, subtle neutrals, elegant taupes, and mystical silvers and grays. Each shade is an ode to the serene yet powerful presence of this December's full moon. So as far as there's different textures of shadows in this palette, the palette boasts 10 luxurious mattes, 11 specialty shimmers, including 4 multi-dimensional holochromes. And I love a good holochrome. And I love how they do their holochromes. Like, I'm assuming this particular shade is a holochrome. So you have 1 multichrome, 3 duochromes, 2 ultra sparkly shimmers, 1 classic satin shimmer, and a variety of textures and finishes. These textures mimicking the dazzling light of winter's night sky, perfect for creating looks that are whimsical and sophisticated. All right, so then, like I said, you have additional ingredients. The palettes are magnetized. So if you are a person that likes to mix and match and build your own palettes, that is great. All right, if I scour the internet and I find a picture, I will throw it up here. But let's go ahead. Let's get into these looks. I have 4 looks for you because I just really felt like there were so many shimmer shades in this palette. I need to show you as many as I can. And these are the type of shimmers that, you know, they do best when you just kind of showcase them by themselves. You know, you don't need 50 of them on because then you can't get the full impact of that particular shade, especially when it's a duochrome or a holochrome. But I'm loving this. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The eyebrows are filled in using my Goof pencil, shade 3.75. For the primer today, I'm using my MAC Contemplative State Primer in the shade, Contemplative State. It's a paint pot. So let's go ahead and get started.
This might be right. Either you feel it or you don't. Might give it a try, yeah. Our bodies collide. Baby, you're everything I want. Let's give it some time, yeah. Somebody told me I should hit and run, but they don't know, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows but us how we roll, how we roll. Nobody knows what we got but us, but us. Let them keep talking, let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't, no they don't, no they don't. Let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't, no they don't, no they don't. I feel so alive. When I'm with you, I'm on flight mode. You move me inside, yeah. Then we get disturbed. So many people let me know I should bounce from your world, yeah. Yeah. Somebody told me I should hit and run, but they don't know, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows but us how we roll, how we roll. Nobody knows what we got but us, but us. Let them keep talking, let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't, no they don't, no they don't. Let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't, no they don't, no they don't. Let them keep talking, they don't, they don't, they don't. How we roll. Let them keep talking, they don't, they don't, they don't. How we roll. This might be right. Either you feel it or you don't. Might give it a try, yeah.
All right, I am back, and here are the first 2 looks. Oh my gosh. Let me run through the face details real quick before we start talking about the shadow performances, which it was great. It was great. Okay. So for my face, I went in with my Rare Beauty foundation in the shade 430W. And I took the concealer, what was it? My Pat McGrath concealer in shade M20. Followed up with my liquid bronzer. This is my Giorgio Armani liquid luminous silk bronzer. This is the deepest shade. It's called 110. And I took my Bare Cheeks blush palette by Bill & Bloody Cosmetics. And I just went in kind of with like the purple mauve tones right here for the cheeks. Followed up with one of my favorite highlighters. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. It's like stuck to the... Okay, stuck to the bottom. And this is the shade Knockout. It was a collaboration with Puma. So it's basically like a golden peachy highlighter. I really love it. It's like literally the best $8 that just keeps going and going and going because you see how much pan I have on it and I have not gotten rid of it. And then for my lips, I went ahead with my Bite Beauty lipstick. It's a crayon in the shade Glace paired with one of my Blend Bunny lip cream pencils. This one is like the deeper mauve tone one, kind of more burgundy shade for the lip liner. This one does not have a name. So those are my face details. Oh, and my lashes that I have on are the Kiss Ritzy lashes. But oh my gosh, if these shadows, first of all, what is that name of the shadow? Oh my gosh. It is beautiful. And when I tell you that the camera is doing this no justice, I mean it. Like literally no justice. I went in the restroom or in the bathroom and I was just like, oh my gosh. Like this is beautiful. So this was the shade Coin right here in the middle. Oh my gosh, with this fiery red base and all the hollow reflex. These shadows are gorgeous and right up my alley. So beautiful. And that one particular shadow had a lot more slip to it. It was a little bit easier to apply and it wasn't as thick as the shade Snow Crystal. Now, Snow Crystal, very beautiful, very smooth, even though it has like a thicker texture, a little bit more tackier, squishier texture. But I think I picked up just a tiny bit too much because when I started spreading across my lid, it spread very evenly, but I could kind of immediately tell that I probably picked up just a tiny bit too much, but it did come out great. So you see it looks just like a little bit thicker, but it laid down so well. It did not have a problem smoothing out. Of course, I went in with my NYX glitter glue for both of the shadows. I'm going to do that regardless with majority of any type of shimmers that I'm wearing, especially when they have this much mica and multi-chromes and particles in it. It just lays down so much easier. The mattes are beautiful, beautiful tones. The grays, I was really impressed with Cold Moon. It laid down really nicely. It kind of just gave that nice gray gradient with the shade Rebirth. You know I love some gray tone mattes. I'm all about it. And Cat Matte went on nice also. That was just kind of like the more mauve shade. I layered it over the gray tones of Cold Moon and Rebirth just to see if I can get more of a gradient, even though I kind of covered it up. I got it a little bit on the outside. And then for this particular eye, I went more mauve and garnet blended in very beautiful with the shade Arathia right here. So everything blended out very nicely, picked up really nicely. So far, I'm really, really impressed. These shadows are gorgeous. Like, it doesn't even make any type of sense. For the inner corner, I went ahead and just took a little bit of Snow Fairies just to kind of pop it in on the inner corner, get the look a little extra dimension, but I am just really pleased. And then I want to say for this eye, I took the shade Wolf Moon, but because I had so much of that shade Snow Crystal on the eye, you can't really see a differentiation between the two colors. So it's really more about the star of the show. But really, when you have a shade that has all these different reflex and multi-chromes, you don't really have to pile them on. You know, you want that shade to be kind of like the focal point so you can see all the different particles and all the different shifts and tones that are in the particular shade, and then you just kind of want to build your mattes around it, you know, because the star of the show is really this shade. Like, you don't need anything else. And with these matte tones, forget about it. Gorgeous. But First of all, this shade is so opulent. Like, oh my gosh, it didn't even make any type of sense. Like, oh my gosh. And the beautiful, like, hollow crystals in this shade that pop out like little confetti. I don't know how they do that. And I feel like their hollow shades look a little different than the typical hollow shades that you might get from, let's see, I really enjoy my Glam Shop Poland ones. Just different. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got to do another look. I'll be back. But so far, oh my gosh, I'm in love. Like, lost words. I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and here are two more looks. So I felt that it was really more appropriate for me to do two more looks because there's so many beautiful, unique shimmer shades in this palette. And just doing the 3 looks, I wasn't going to be able to, you know, touch as many shades. But I am ultimately really happy with how all of my looks came out. I really like, in this particular round of looks, I really like how this one came out. It's a little ethereal, it's smoky, has some dimension. This one is really great also. But I really wanted to go ahead and play with the shade Snowdrop, so that's here. And it also has the same texture as the shade Snow Crystal. So once I said these shades are a little bit thicker in texture and they're a little bit stickier. So I would definitely start light so you don't put too much on, because as you can see, it can get a little bit more chunky. It still looks smooth, but it still can definitely get a little bit more chunky if you put on too much. A little goes a long way. And I would just kind of rub it, you know, a little bit in between your fingers and just kind of take your time. If you don't want to rub it in between your fingers to kind of warm the product up, just take your time, pat it. Spread it out evenly, kind of pat it in, and that way you're going to get the full gist of all the shade has to offer as far as the multichromes and the crystals and just the goodness and the shift and the shine of the shade. Now, like I said, you can like kind of subdue it down when you're just putting on a little bit and just kind of patting it out. And if you want to build it up, you can definitely go in with more to go ahead and build it up to make it a little bit more shiny, just to go ahead and build up the opacity of the shade as well. But everything is beautiful. Like, I am really in love with how the mattes blended out. They blended out very well. This palette is very thought out. I am really, really pleased with it. I definitely see myself playing with this palette, you know, during this whole little time frame, the new year. This was on my wish list, and I am not disappointed by it at all. I feel like these shades are really up my alley. Now, if like super multi-chrome, super shiny shadows are not up your alley, this is not really going to be for you, but those are the type of shades that I still like to wear. Beautiful, beautiful multi-chrome shades. Would say that, you know, if you try to wipe it away, I do have a couple glitter particles. I didn't have so much fallout, but just wiping away was a little bit tough, but they were not irritating to the eyes or anything like that. The shadows went down without ease. I feel like the color story is really, really beautiful. It's cool tone. There's something here for everybody. It still has some warmth to it. So if you have a very warm skin tone like I do, like it's still going to complement your skin very well. I do think there are a few shades in here that will definitely play well for individuals who are deeper than me, but I would say that maybe a couple of the mattes might not be the best. But I just love how they formulated the palette. I feel like the packaging is great. I love how they did the placement of the shadows. And you just get like kind of 3 distinct kind of color stories. You have like a 6 pan here, 6, and then here, so that you're able to just kind of mix and match or just follow those color stories along. And I think it was really brilliantly done. Now, I did not get a chance to play with, what is it, Aurora or Satin Flare or Borealis. Oh my gosh. So Saturnalia, which, you know, Pat McGrath has a shade that's called Saturnalia. Oh my Lord. Like, are you kidding me? Like, these shades are just beautiful, like so pretty, so opulent. Like, I don't know how they are doing it. And remember, these shades are like handmade. They are choosing these colors. These shades are not private label. I know that that was something with the brand previously, and they went on their Instagram and explained, I guess when the brand first came out, they were private label. This is the shade Aurora. And I just love how they formulated these shades. It's giving, you know, it's giving cold, it's giving winter, but still giving something fun and mystical with the palette. And it has like the moon theme with like the aurora flares without giving like the usual colors of aurora flares that we're always so used to seeing. And I just feel like the color story was especially unique. And cool tones have been like kind of the rage lately. And oh my gosh, I am digging it. So that was Aurora. Let's see, what's Borealis looking like? Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful purple shade. Child, like stay tuned because it will be in some type of palette rotation. I mean, honestly, I don't know how they do it. The shades are just so pretty. Let's do Snow Fairies. I feel like Snow Fairies is maybe a shade that we have kind of seen more consistently, but then it does give like the blue-brown vibes, but still really, really beautiful. The formulation of these shades are really special. I feel like they're very easy to work with. Even with these shades just being a little bit more chunky, they apply very well. As far as the brush, if I went in with a brush, it would definitely be like the Reference 02. This brush lays down shimmer shades, especially laying down like multi-chrome shimmer shades or things that just have a lot of punch, a lot of sparkle to them very well. And Refer always has a sale, so you can pick up a couple of these dirt cheap, you know, so it's not in their natural hair brushes, but it really packs a punch. And that's what I was able to just kind of blend the shade out, buff it out, and spread out the particles so it wasn't so thick laying on the eyes. But like I said, these shades are just really, really magical and leave a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot going on with them in a good way. So once again, it has Snow Crystal, and I did use Snow Crystal already. That was in the first look, and I mean, honestly, so if you can see right there, it's a little bit thicker, so you want to see what I'm saying. You're just gonna kind of have to press it out so it's not kind of chunky, but oh my gosh, do you see that pigmentation? Just gorgeous. I can keep saying they're gorgeous. So I am really thrilled to have this palette in my collection. I feel like it was unique enough, and that's what made me purchase it as far as the color story. I also felt like it was unique enough based off of like all the multi-chromes and all the single shadows that I have and all the palettes that are shimmer only. So I felt like this was just something to have. And plus, I really, really enjoyed the Harvest Moon palette. I've still been wearing that palette a lot. So as you may or may not know, like the Harvest Moon palette it was one of my favorites of 2023. I've still been rocking with it. So that's why I was like, okay, when I saw the color story of this and knew it was like something a little bit more different, a bit more innovative, I was like, yes. And I mean, I don't know, like the shades are just beautiful, but then against the background, it just gives it something a little bit more to pop against. And I don't mind it as a mirror. I know that's a deal breaker for some people, but for me, I am never that person that can sit here really and do this with a mirror, like, and do my makeup. That's not how I roll. There's a mirror right here because I can't function. You know, I can barely even hold a palette up without dropping it. But let me know, what was your favorite look? Oh my gosh, I love this look. I love the first two looks. Everything has just been beautiful, simply stunning. It looks like fireworks are going off of my eyes. I'm really pleased with it, with the shadows and the performance of the shadows. I think I just said that. All right. So leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because, you know, I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. With that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chair Dance. Hey, 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 Chair Dance. Chair Dance. Hey. All right, y'all. Bye.